Red telephone boxes like this one are an icon of Britain. Or, well, they were.
Поехали! Разворачиваются! Ой, как темп боя не падал!
The red telephone box, designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott, is a familiar sight on the streets of the United Kingdom, Malta, Bermuda and Gibraltar. The red phone box is often seen as a British cultural icon throughout the world. Yet, the invention of mobile phones has led to the majority of telephone booths falling into disrepair. However, through the innovation and creativity of a country which shows a propensity for violent combat and bizarre endeavours, the renowned telephone box has been put to arguably better use. Yes, it's Russia. Phone booth boxing. The sport involves two boxers fighting in a small enclosed phone booth with no room for dodging or running. The boxers must use their fists and elbows to attack and defend themselves. Interestingly, the concept behind the activity was actually cultivated by a legendary American boxing trainer many years ago.
The phone booth, yeah. There was a time before cell phone, believe it or not. Phone booth. In other words, in close quarters. He wants to look to tie me up. Go ahead, start again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my shoulder. I'm going to create room. I'm going to bang. Oh, sorry. Bang, bang. I'm going to rotate my shoulders, create 4, 5, 6 inches of room that wasn't there before. That's suddenly there. And you're in a phone booth, in close, and you can work. You can be the inside man.
The events are staged by a Russian MMA promotion company named Punch Club, who have fashioned a reputation for throwing bizarre and daring combat fights. This includes car jitsu, bare knuckle boxing in suits, and ship container matchups. On the 1st of December 2021, the company announced it would be organising phone booth bouts under the name Punchbox. On the 18th, the initial fights began.
Извините, пожалуйста, скажите, пожалуйста, почему ты не подписан на канал? Также поставь лайк моему русскому.
On the 23rd of March 2022, in typical Russian style, the promoters took it a step further, positioning the phone box on top of a frozen lake. For this round of matchups, they had Russian slapper Vasily Komotsky take part. If you want to learn more about him, check out my slap fighting iceberg video. On the 2nd of June 2022, Punch Club hosted another event in which the rules were altered to allow knees to be used. Then, on the 16th of September 2022, the Russian and KMC Thai boxing champion Pavel Molchanov was brutally KO'd, perhaps multiple times, by a 19-year-old called Ivan Chuganov, with the clip going fairly viral across social media. In an attempt to attract more viewers, the promotion pitted two people with dwarfism against each other. In November of that year, Dmitry Kobylev took on Daniil Kosachenkov in one of the most brutal and bitter clashes witnessed in the booth. By this point, the fighters were increasingly finding ways to find space to land hard strikes within the confined zone. This was obvious when Ivan Chuganov expertly dispatched his opponent with a vicious knockdown. Fighters were now opting to sink low before delivering strikes in attempts to get greater leverages with their punches. The start of 2023 saw famous stars entering the booth, with the American-born Russian MMA fighter Jeff Monson entering the fray. He would unfortunately lose his first fight. As time progressed, fighters began to look for possible submissions in the confined space, and some even sought to use the sides as ways to gain an advantage. Even in a sport which seems very limited in how it can progress, fighters were still seeking out innovative ways to finish a bout as quickly as possible. It has now been 9 months since the most recent episode of Punchbox aired on RuTube, which perhaps symbolises a stagnation in the popularity and demand for the sport. The promotion company has attempted other formats, including hosting a slap fight within the booth, but it doesn't seem to have stemmed the tide of growing boredom. Other fighting promoters such as Full Metal Dojo have attempted to organise left-way kickboxing fights on the back of Punchbox's popularity, yet it failed to fully take off.
Personally, I'm not too convinced by this so-called sport. Firstly, for spectators, it's very difficult to tell what's actually happening in the booth while the fight is going on, which does detract from the overall level of entertainment it provides. Secondly, similar to slap fighting, it does seem to pander to the obsession for watching people get seriously injured and hurt, whilst mitigating their ability to effectively defend themselves. Admittedly, it is pretty jokes though. But what do you guys think? Please tell me in the comments, and I mean, if you enjoy this, maybe I'll make some more content on it, although I do feel like I'm losing brain cells watching a lot of these clips.
Leave a like, subscribe, and follow my page on Clash TV. It means the most. Thank you.